Coming to you from Easton, Pennsylvania, the mosh pit of the Lehigh Valley, it's the Cigar Advisor Cigar Review Panel. I'm Gary Korb, and I don't like Mondays, but Tuesday's just as bad. Now, for this review, we're going to be smoking the Macanudo Inspirado Black Robusto. This is a little bit smaller than the Inspirado White in terms of its size. It's 4 7/8 by 48 ring, and it is blended with specially fermented Nicaraguan tobaccos. And they're from Esteli, so they're a little stronger. And these are grown from proprietary seeds, whatever that means. It's got an Ecuador Sumatra binder, and it has a dark, oily U.S. Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper.
My favorite.
That's right. I was going to say that.
Z-Man's favorite wrapper.
Yes.
Scrumptious.
So, let us introduce our panel of the unusual suspects. How does he get his teeth so white he brushes them with OxyClean?
Hey.
It's Fred Lunt.
Hey.
So much has been written and said about him, and he's here today to deny it. Mr. Tommy Z-Man.
I never said that.
Allegedly.
And a man with a face that only Kim Jong-un could trust.
Wow.
It's John Pulo.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
Nothing. You're a very nice man.
Thank you.
Anyway, here we have again the Macanudo Inspirado Black Robusto. This is, I gotta tell you, the construction overall appearance of this is really fine. It's well made, it has a solid feel, and the wrapper is dark chocolatey brown, and it's a little bit darker in some areas, but upon closer inspection, you don't see many visible veins. And I really like the cap is well applied. Everything, you know, it's Macanudo, it's gonna be high quality. So I'm gonna pass it down to Fred, see how he's doing with this.
Thank you, Gary. So like Gary said, construction is great. Mine's a little tight as well on the baseline cigar, but I really, like Tommy was just going on before we cut to the camera here, the pre-light on this is full of flavor. I got some dried fruit, like a raisin, like a fig, a lot of coffee, chocolate, leather, little earth, very complex, very sweet. I love Connecticut broadleaf, so it definitely brings a lot of sweetness and full-bodiedness to it. Very creamy smoke, very good mouthfeel to it. Well-packed cigar, and easily medium plus. Great cigar. As you said, Macanudo is just knocking these hits out here, and this is another good step up for the company.
Hey, we did an interview. We did what did we do?
A review?
A review. An inter-review.
An inter-review?
Yes. Much like Al Gore's interweb. But we did a review on the white version of this. And the first thing I said in it, and it's going to be the first thing I say here, is if you've got this preconceived notion of Macanudo, get it out of your head now. Because these are great cigars. This has so much flavor. I've probably smoked 5 of them. It is complex. It's got a beautiful Connecticut Maduro, broadleaf Maduro wrapper. God, there's so many flavors, and right off the bat, you guys can argue till you're blue in the face. Black licorice right off the bat. Right off the bat.
I agree, totally.
Gary agrees with me.
No,
I think there's black licorice in your
Tommy's
brain.
favorite flavor, black licorice.
There's definitely
I
some,
can tell you my favorite flavor, but I'm not going to because I
definitely
like my
some
job.
fennel in there that I picked up.
Fennel?
I didn't get any fun.
Yeah, well, a licoricey kind of taste, and
Okay.
I also found this one a little salty too. But John, I'd like to hear what you had to say.
All right. So I agree with you. A little bit smaller for a Robusto, and one of the best broadleaf wrappers I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Upon close inspection, you see a nice toothiness to it. It's got a little bit of a rustic feel, but not too much. Because I always say that broadleaf is perfectly imperfect, because it's got that nice rustic look. A great draw in comparison to what Fred's doing over there, given how tightly packed this is with a micro-thin burn line.
Yeah.
What's the ring gauge here? Like a 46?
This is a
48.
48. It's really,
Yeah,
it
so
looks
it's
even
kind of
thinner.
like a Corona Robusto
It's cross between
hybrid.
like a Rothschild
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
And it's
Robusto.
what, 4 by 7/8 long?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like
Like,
I
you
said,
know,
it's a little bit
an
small
eighth short
for
of
your
5.
First of all, you see
average
all the
Robusto.
smoke
I
coming
was
off
just going to
this.
say,
Yeah.
this thing
God.
pours out smoke.
Chugging out.
Yeah.
And just pours.
You're gonna piss
across the
smoke
tongue,
Nazis off beverages.
across the tongue, out. As on the pre-light, as you guys were saying, I'm getting like this buttery kind of. That's the broadleaf there. Citrus, a little bit of nougat, some darker flavors. They're delicious though.
It
And the
is.
toast, on just firing it up.
Absolutely
Started-
delicious
I put
cigar.
some toast
that
in
that
there,
dried
yeah.
fruit and raisin kind of sensation.
lot of that.
Huge note of that up
Very
front,
good.
but it falls off just as quick and goes to some of the salty flavors
Yeah.
like you were talking.
But so you did get the saltiness.
Absolutely, and I will
Which
say,
you'll find sometimes.
I'm going to validate Z-Man for the first time. We've been doing this together for very many years, and you always said, "I taste licorice," and I always look at you like,
Black licorice.
"You're full of it." And today, I can say, I taste a cigar with black licorice.
It's not overpowering.
It's
just
not.
got
It's in
that-
there. So I believe you.
And not throughout
And
the
I
whole
agree
cigar.
with you.
I think
No,
just right off the bat.
There's like it finally happened for me. It's just an underlying note, especially through the first half. I mean, we'll give away some of the spoilers of the different flavors.
You
of
know what?
this
It's
thing
almost like
progresses.
Zambuca tastes. Like
Almost.
That.
Let's
So
see.
this would have
Okay.
coffee.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
With the coffee would kill. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee.
I agree. The
stand alone.
smoke is very thick, very chewy. It's bold in flavor. And I was getting my first few puffs. I was getting a little bit of the salt, earthy notes, and more like a charry wood. I didn't really
Yeah.
get the fruit
No?
thing, but the base flavors I
like a
found to
shot
be
right up front.
Yeah.
mainly earth, fennel, other spices, which I really couldn't identify, but it's nice and spicy. And the charred wood, there's some charry notes in here too.
Yeah.
And again, there's no Dominican tobacco in this Macanudo. They're known for their Dominican tobacco,
Yeah.
and they're using all Nicaraguan. So maybe this one could have been Macanudo Nicaraguan. I don't know. I keep
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
that.
this is definitely a medium plus smoke, and
Yeah.
a bunch of pepper shots, even at barely half, 3/4 of an inch in, the big pepper shots, and you'll get to some sweet flavors as this thing progresses on and
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
But essentially, I mean, I don't know if you guys retrohaled this yet or at all when
Not
you were
yet,
smoking some
but
of the
yes.
samples. But I found some of the retrohale is really where you find some of that extra sweetness
Oh,
from that
always.
broadleaf.
Really? Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
But it's heady, so you got to kind of watch.
Yeah, it does improve in terms of intensity as you get further down. I'm basing this on our baseline cigar, and I'm getting a lot of that now. It's a really, really solid cigar. And if you like Nicaraguan tobacco, you like Nicaraguan cigars, the Macanudo Inspirado really hits on all cylinders.
You know, Gary, I was saying in our other review of the other Inspirado, the light one, I would love to try this in a larger ring gauge size because this is smaller cigar and a thinner cigar, so the flavors can be very, very intense because it's so compact. I want to see how that works on a bigger ring gauge, but I can't wait. I am definitely going to smoke this cigar more often because I love the Connecticut broadleaf. Maduro is my favorite. They did a hell of a job with this.
Yeah, well, I think you get a little bit more in this size of that wrapper flavor too, because you're getting a little more wrapper as opposed to the filler. But really good.
Which brings up an interesting argument amongst cigar smokers. You know, the rule of thumb has always kind of been that 60% of the flavor of a cigar comes from the wrapper. There are many who will debate that. I've heard Jose Blanco say
Depends on the
things. I've
size,
heard
to me,
Steve
at
Sacca
least.
say different things about that. I think it depends on the cigar, the size, the wrapper, and stuff.
Absolutely.
But Gary's right. The wrapper really, really comes into play here and has a really nice natural sweetness to it. What I would like to do, because of those who have preconceived notions of Macanudo, that name, I would like to, and I'm going to, take the band off this and have guys who like full-bodied cigars try this. Tell me how damn good it is and how complex the flavor is, and then show them and have them go, no way. So I'm telling you guys, don't let that fool you. This is a hell of a cigar.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned you give this to full-bodied cigar smokers because while it's full-bodied, it's really focusing on the flavor. I mean, the flavor.
Yeah,
you
not
know,
the strength, the
it's
flavor.
not. It's not strong. Yeah, it's just flavorful. It's very, full flavored.
Yep.
And I would say with the, like Gary is getting those charred oak, charred wood notes. I would say that I'm getting a lot of that right now, along with some dark, sweet, fruity notes. And I would really like to see how this does with like a nice bourbon or something along those
Oh,
lines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Or a barrel-aged stout.
I think an espresso or a nice coffee or like a Cuban coffee or something, this would just kill with.
Yeah.
It's real good with the coffee.
Really, this
Yeah.
dessert cigar.
I could see
You guys
that.
agree?
It could
I can
be.
see
Yeah.
that.
It could be.
All right.
John?
Well, I would say this is, these guys are bringing up Macanudo Inspirado White. This is a very decent counterpoint to the Inspirado White. And I think with Fred talking about flavor and Tommy talking about some of the different pairings, or vice versa, there's a lot in this cigar that's like barbecue. Where if you're going to smoke it, you smoke it low and slow, because you're going to get to some sweetness that happens at about halfway. There's dry, toasty flavors. It's kind of got a dark note that's a little bit like molasses, but less sweet until you get further in there. But those charred flavors are really coming through now that you're talking about it. About to an inch in. Campfirey, and that pepper from the core tobaccos gives that lip-smacking kind of feel. It's just making your mouth water in the right places, and definitely a medium plus smoke, and definitely a departure from what you might expect.
Absolutely. What I like about Macanudo is that they've sort of they've reinvented themselves in a sense. You know, for the younger smokers who may not even know about Macanudo, the original Macanudos. You know, so this is sort of like, hey, you know, this is like a cigar for the next generation. One way you could put it. But a great job by Johnny's Diaz and people at Macanudo. And we won't have any final comments on this cigar?
Well, I just did a retro hail, and I got a little bit of that black licorice, like you guys were saying.
Okay.
So there it finally hit me.
Ta-da!
I also
It's
got a lot
definitely
of
in there.
coffee, and a lot more of the oak and cedar, and a little chocolate in there even. So, yeah, like you said, it's just this is a very sweet, dark, flavorful cigar. But definitely anybody who likes a full-bodied smoke, medium plus smoke, and you know, still very burning, just very sharp line here, very strong construction on this. Yeah, this is not the Macanudo of old. This is something new. This is something exciting for them, and I think that the pairing options on this are going to be really stellar, because this can go with after dinner coffee, or this can go with a bourbon, or you know, like I said, a barrel-aged stout or something, you know, along those lines.
This would hold up well with a stout and a whiskey. I just want to say that I just felt very good that John agreed with me enough to put his arm around me. It made me feel like wanted and
get
special.
butterflies in
And
your stomach?
There's no more where that came from. That was it.
actually, I'm glad.
That's it. That's all I got.
You know, I'm confident in my manhood. I am, and my wife's not as confident, unfortunately. Yeah. So I'm just the snore machine to her. That's all I am. Guys, I said it. Flavor, and you know what? We all are smoking this a lot slower than we smoked in our review of the Inspirado White, because these flavors kind of command you to take in the draw, taste it, and then kind of just you sit, you get the aroma and everything. Oh, what a good cigar, guys! Really, really good.
Like I said before, great counterpoint to the Inspirado White. Definitely departure. Maybe you've smoked Macanudo Maduro before. I would not say that this is anywhere near the same kind of thing. There's an intensity of flavor that builds. The white has a little bit more in terms of layers.
Yeah, well,
This
got more
is-
different tobaccos.
Right, so this is more of some straight up, again, I'll go with charred flavors, campfirey, just a little bit of the sweetness, and that's way far in the background. But if you haven't given Macanudo a second thought in a while, and you're looking for a great change of pace, and you like broadleaf, and this is burning exceptionally well for a broadleaf wrapper, I think the Inspirado Black is worth a try to see if this is going to change your mind about fuller cigars. I mean, Dominican pedigree, yes, but with this kind of tobaccos in it, I think it's got a neat set of flavors you'll really enjoy. It has a nice change of pace.
Yeah, definitely. They don't play around. The people at Macanudo, you know, they have these proprietary seeds, and they grow them, and they nurture them, and you know, they really they know what they're looking for, and they eventually get it. And I think you'll get that too out of this cigar. Especially, I think it's good for new cigar smokers who are curious about Nicaraguan tobacco, or you know, they want to get into a Maduro, but you get the best of both worlds here. You get a Nicaraguan Maduro, basically, and it's really excellent.
Well, a lot of smokers are turned off by the Maduro. They think it's too strong.
Yeah, well, this
Well,
is
newbies. A lot of
Yeah.
newbies
Yeah.
think I can't smoke a Maduro. It's going to be too strong. Which
You
is
can.
Yes, you can.
because that sweetness is there. That's what I always say. There's always that natural sweetness,
Yep.
especially with this Connecticut broadleaf Maduro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take it
So-
slow. Slow and steady wins. Look at that ash.
Yep.
Just hanging on there.
Yeah, I know, it's very firm. In fact, I
looking.
tried to
Yeah.
tap it
I
off.
like
I
what I
couldn't do
see.
it.
Easy.
I had to
Hey,
push it
take it
against the
easy.
side of the ashtray. It would not come off. So that's a good sign. So anyhow, You can see all of our reviews and other articles at cigaradvisor.com. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook, and don't forget about our Facebook Live show every Wednesday at, Tommy, what time is it?
Every Wednesday on Facebook, so you can look at it on your phone instead of doing work, which is awesome. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon Pacific every Wednesday, and we get some of the best cigar guys in the world live in our office. Sits there in our office studio. Nick Perdomo, Steve Sacca, Robert Holt, Rafael Nadal, Glenn Case, and Christoph. We've had them all on
Rocky's
live.
on.
Rocky. How could I forget Rocky?
How could
It
you
was a
forget
great
Rocky?
show. That's
We
right.
smoke cigars, we shoot the breeze.
That's it. And we answer your
Answer
questions
questions.
live. You ask us questions, we answer them.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yep,
And if we don't know the answer, we make it up.
that's right.
Ask us about the Macanudo.
And you can also follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. So that's all for now. The Macanudo Inspirado Black. Check it out. We'll see you next time.